the next session now. We're going straight to the next session, and we are bringing in our speaker who will be giving us everything that has to do with Power Virtual Agents. And she'll be walking us through those processes of making a simple HR bot within Microsoft Team apps with PVA. Help me welcome Madam Olajumoke Towiola. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, David. Thanks, everyone. Once again, welcome to the Global Power Platform Bootcamp, Lagos, Nigeria. I'm super excited to be here. I hope everyone is catching fun already. So once again, I remain Olajumoke Turiola. And my topic for today will be making a simple HR bot within Microsoft Teams app with PVA, I call it. So I'm just going to go straight into it. But before then, just a quick introduction about me. My name, once again, remain Olajumoke Turiola. I'm the CTO of Ashem Limited. I'm a Microsoft MVP on the Office Apps and Services platform or segment, so to say. I'm the Microsoft Certified Trainer. The technologies I work with are the Microsoft 365, the Microsoft Exchange, Azure, and the Power Virtual Agents. I like music, and I love technology. And then finally, I love to cook, really. Yes, to cook real good, real good meals. And then I also happen to be the MCTNAIJA M365 user group lead. These are my social media handles, my LinkedIn, my Twitter, my YouTube. You can actually join me in any of this platform. Okay, so moving up straight to the agenda of today, we'll be looking at a brief overview of the Microsoft Power Platform. Good enough, I like the fact that Chineye did a very good intro into it, and also making us, getting the value why we should go this path, really. So a brief introduction again, moving on to the Power Virtual Agents, and then we'll look at the Power Virtual Agents in Microsoft Team. Then we're going to have a brief overview around the Microsoft Dataverse, and then I'll move on to my demo. I actually plan not to bore you so much with a lot of talks. I'll do more of the demo. So introducing the Power Platform. Yes, I know it is not new to some of us. We've been hearing about it. So one of the things it's almost a year that COVID-19 hits every one of us. And then the pandemic, its impact on our business has actually forced everyone to have a global shift in the way we work. So oftentimes we have organization coming in and you have people working from home, and they have some form of special request around, oh, how do we get this? Does the company have this? When is the resumption time and all of that? So that's what I'm going to be showing in my demo today. But like I said, before I go forward, let's just first have a brief introduction about what the Microsoft Power Platform service is all about. Now, the Microsoft Power Platform is a group of products offered by Microsoft to develop and build complex business solutions with the help of the Power BI. And then you can also analyze and draw data visualization into those into your data. We all know that right now all businesses really are data driven. It is the data that is driving the business we have. So how do you make sense out of those data? How do you make sense out of that data? Sorry, I think I missed one. So analyze and draw data visualization with Power BI. So the very first one here is actually going to be handled by the Power Apps, really. So, and then for the automate, you use the Power Automate to run your business workflows to avoid really repetitive tasks. Then lastly, we have the Power Virtual Agent, also known as chatbots, for communication. So all of these platforms, we offer you like a low-code platform required to build your applications within your organization and all of that. So the Microsoft Power Platform is actually designed to unlock the potentials of the Dynamics 365 and the Office 365. So I call it a better together scenario, because when you look at it now, with the integration with the Office 365, especially with what we're going to look at today, how the Microsoft Power Platform is being integrated right now with Microsoft Teams, you'll see the value that you get and why it unlocks all of the potentials even that you can do more with the Office 365 component. So once again, is a group of products offered by Microsoft to develop and build complex business solutions using the Microsoft Power Apps, and then you can analyze with it using the Power BI. So going forward, I think I'll just lay a bit of foundation here. One of the things that comes to mind when Microsoft was building the Power Platform really is it is actually called the triple loop. But now, because of the virtual agent, how I will call it I've made it to be the quadruple loop is what I'll call it. So the first thing is this. These are the pillars that form the Power Platform. Like I said, organization right now deals with a lot of data. Every business is data driven. How do you make sense out of those data? How does those data really speak to you or tell you what you're supposed to do? How do you get insight to how your business is running? That is actually have achieved with the Power BI. So the Power BI is a business analytic tool which allows you to easily connect to several data sources, really, so that you can create visuals out and gain intelligence into your business real quickly. So the Power BI is going to help you analyze complex data and enable you for continuous improvements, really, within your organization. So let's say now you've gained insight to your data. How do you act on those data that you gain insight to? The first thing that comes to mind might probably be, okay, is there a way I can build some intelligence apps that even to help my business process or to help my work more, more easy, or my users or my customer to easily connect together and then to collaborate, and then I can build business apps on that. So with that comes with the Power Apps. The Power Apps will help you build a low-code application or custom applications that your users can use quickly, really, within. And then you can actually build a mobile-friendly apps without the need for you to be a developer or you have any developer's knowledge. So the cool thing about the Power Apps is that, it bridges that gap between when you are just like a citizen's developer as against when you are a pro developer or a native one, really. So the Power Apps offers you that platform. You've gained insights to your data, but you want to build apps rather to make it easy for those data that you have gained insight to, probably maybe how you want to interact with them. Now, moving forward, you've created your apps in your environment, or you've created custom applications app, but you're thinking of how those apps, the processes that run within them, can talk to one another. Now, the part of the component of the Power Platform that allows you to do that is actually in the Power Automate. So the Power Automates help you to do what? To avoid manual tasks, really. So it also helps you to avoid all those form of repetitive tasks that you do daily. So it creates a workflow, really, amongst your services or custom applications that you've created, or even applications that you have, third-party applications you're using. So you use the Power Automate. Now, lastly, we have already, all of this is going on, but you talked about how do you engage your users more collaboratively, and then allow them to be able to communicate even when it is not that they have to get in touch with an human agent. So some simple question, you want to assist them on that, some things they need to know, they don't need to send a mail or even have to connect to somebody, a human agent, before they can do all of that. Then you use the Power Virtual Agents. So the Power Virtual Agents, which is our focus of discussion today, allows you really to create powerful chatbots without the need for a developer or data scientist. So really, yes, you don't need a data scientist actually or a developer to build these intelligent chatbots. And then what you can use is that anyone within your organization can actually build this. They don't really need anybody to guide them. So with a simple click and deploy approach, you can always get started with all of these Power Platform component. Now, at the heart of everything that you build, one wonders, where is all of this data that is built, or everything that we're doing here is being kept? This is where the dataverse come in. Yes, it used to be the common data services as of last year, but this year or late last year, I guess, Microsoft introduced, changed the name to Dataverse. And so the Dataverse provides a unified and simplified data schema so that your applications and services can interoperate with one another. That is the flow that allows the flow all of these, and then it stores all of those data. So you find that they share like a common data schema really at the end of the day. So going forward with the Power Virtual Agents and Microsoft Teams, now to be more specific, because that's actually what we're looking at. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about the Power Virtual Agents. Before now, we know the only way we can create bots is actually for you to create bots using codes and all of that. And then you have the Azure, you have the one on you have Luz on Azure, you have all of that. But what Power Virtual Agent does, and that's why I love the solution so much, is because it bridges all of those gaps. It makes you, even as a citizens developer, look like like a real developer, you know. So the Power Virtual Agent is built on the Microsoft Power Platform and then the bot framework. So you can actually build chatbots that can help you answer questions by your customers, your employees, or visitors to your website, on your services and all of that. So mainly some of the general use cases involve, probably you want a bot to be able to answer questions around sales up and support issues, or probably maybe someone comes to your site, wants to know about the opening hours or your store information wherever you're located. You want a bot to be able to answer it, so you can actually create a bot for that. What about if you're an HR employee and probably you want to create a bot to be able to answer questions really around vacation benefits, around employee health and all of that. So one of the cool things also that it was mainly used during the COVID-19 infection. So you can use the bot actually to answer questions around COVID-19 infection rate and tracking informations. And then it comes in two flavors, right? It comes as a standalone web app. So until last year, September in Microsoft Ignite, it has always been known as a standalone web app. But as of September, Microsoft introduced or announced that it's going to come in within Microsoft Teams. It's going to be an app within Microsoft Teams. So these are the two flavors that you really have for the Power Platform. So the Power Platform scenario use case when it comes to the Microsoft Teams are that probably you as an organization. So there's a difference here, and I want us to get when you create when you create chatbots within Microsoft Teams, is actually you're using it for internal use, really. But you can create your chatbots on the web app, and that can be used for both internal use or for any external customers to consume it. So the reason why Microsoft made this easy is that, okay, people complain most times that why do I have to use bots and it's that expensive when it is just I want to use it within, and then it's just for internal consumption. So Microsoft look at it, and if you have an Office 365 license, which you should, applicable Office 365 license, let me use the right phrase. If you have that, then you can be entitled to use the Power Virtual Agents or the Power Platform components at no cost, really, when you're using it from within Microsoft Teams. So when you're doing any bot from within Microsoft Teams, you're actually using it to create for internal use. So use cases can include when you create bots for as a technical support and service engineer, you create an IT help desk chatbot. You want it to assist your user on a step-by-step procedure to follow for typical help desk requests. What this does is that it reduces the pressure that is likely to be put on your IT help desk personnel. Then you can use it as a facility manager to answer simple questions about when people are likely going to return back to work and all of that. Again, this is my favorite that I like, really, how you create it as a digital assistant to assist with employee onboarding process. So you get to create a bot that can interact with people, new hires that you get into your environment, so to help them answer questions around orientation process, or how to submit their paperwork and things like probably maybe the resumption time and all of that. So, but if you want to learn more about this, please join me on the Dynamics.com event come March 18. I'll be showing you more on this. So again, you can create a bot to answer questions around vacation, balance, time off, and benefits, and so on. So all of these and more is what you can actually create. I mean, you can actually use a bot to do. So all of these, I mean, you can use a bot to do. So at the heart of all of this, like I said, you have the Microsoft Dataverse. And what the Microsoft Dataverse will do for you is that it's a cloud-based storage option for your data. So it allows you to I mean, from within Microsoft Teams. So I need to emphasize something here. The Microsoft Dataverse also comes in two flavors, really. So you have it as a Microsoft, you have it as, so it comes in two flavors, really. So you have it also as a standalone, where you can use it for the Power Platform or any of the components of the Power Platform that you are building within the web and all of that. But when you're building it within the Microsoft Teams, so this is what we're actually focusing on today. So the Microsoft Dataverse, like I said, comes in two flavors also. The one you use normally when you're building any of the platform on the Microsoft platform on the web, but now for the one on Microsoft Teams is actually used to build a low-code data platform from within Teams that can empower your users to build custom house bots, flows, and then custom apps from within Teams. So you can use it on the platform. You can use your Power Apps, Power Automate, and Power Virtual Agent within it. Again, it provides the relational data storage for you from within Teams. And then the beauty is this: anyone within your organization can easily build and deploy apps using the Microsoft Dataverse. So some of the benefits with it include that it is included in your Office 365 licensing. Remember what I said, there is no need for you to buy additional license cost. There's no additional license cost attached to this if you have the right Office 365 licensing package, and so to say. So it also allows you to support low code and low code apps, flow, and chatbot. One of the things is that you have a storage of 2 gig per team, really, and it supports up to 1 million rows. It also supports up to 500 teams, and then it can empower any of your citizens developer, which I happen to be, because I don't know any one line of code. But then when I'm within the Microsoft Power Platform, it actually takes that mindset from it and then make me just build or do whatever I want to do with ease. So with all of that said, I'm going to jump right into my demo. Like I said, I don't want to bore you with so much. I will just jump right into the demo. So going into the demo, let's move. So the first thing you have to bear in mind, the building an app in Microsoft's with Power Virtual Agent, is that within Microsoft Teams, you actually tied your bot or your Power Virtual Agent bots that you've created. Going forward, I'll be saying PVA, really. You actually tie it to a team in Microsoft. So then you must have it already existing. You must have maybe any of your team existing. So depending on what, there are different ways for you to create your team. You have it. You can create them with a template that comes also with Microsoft Teams. But then I've already created my own bot. So the next thing you want to do is that probably you want to search for this Power Virtual Agent. Sorry, maybe you want to add it as an app. I have already added my own, but let's see that probably you want to add it as an app. So one of the things you'll be doing is that you come into this place and then do your search for Power Virtual Agent, and you can add it. So it's as simple as that. Once you add it, you want to pin it to your pane, really. So you want to pin it to this pane. If you were using the desktop version of Microsoft Teams, you can actually pop it out to build whatever you want to build. So adding it here, I can now start building my own bots very soon. So the first thing is this is what you are presented with after you have added your Power Virtual Agents. You're presented with this page. You can see that you have very cool resources and documentations you can leverage on here to get started with using it. Now I can come into this place and see probably whether I have any the number of bots I have that I can or I can start creating any new bot. Now the about page also is actually going to give me the opportunity for me to do what? To know, maybe get a little bit of details about the version of the Power Virtual Agent or any information I need. So for me, I can go back to the home page and say start now, or I can go to the chatbot and create. So if I click on chat now, start now, it's actually going to give me the option for me to create a new chatbot for Teams. Now remember what I said, when you're creating a chatbot, the first thing it's going to ask you is that select a team I can connect with. So for me in this case, I have created a team, and then for the purpose of our demo and also for the purpose of the program we're running, I'm going to be using the GPPB 2021 HRS part. So what these HRS parts are actually for, let me give a little background of my demo, is this. I'm saying that when people come into the organization and then they need to interact with my chatbot and say, where can I find information around medicals or around disability help or things like, okay, we're working from home, I need an ergonomic furniture, will the company be able to reimburse me for it and all of that? Where can I find information around that? And probably if you can't answer that information that I'm seeking to find, is there a particular team that I can send that information to? So this is what this team is actually going to be useful. So I can click on this and then I go on and continue. Now I'm going to give this a little bit of time just to create the environment for me. But while that is going on, a couple of things we need to have in mind when we're building our bots is this. The very first thing we're going to be presented to when this comes up are topics. So a bot comes with a collection of topics, really, and your topics are what defines how your bot interaction with your end user will go. So first thing first, when you want to build your bots, this is what I tell people to do. Create your layouts, create how you want to have the environment defined, how you feel your conversation will flow. So when you create that, then it's easy for you to put, you can now be able to define the topics or what is referred to as the trigger phrases that people are likely going to be typing for them to get message from what you are doing. So for me, again, my bot, I'm going to give it the GPPB. Let me just make it short. Bootcamp, let's call it bots. And then I'm going to create this. So like I said, this will run through the same process again, create all the environment and all of that. So going back to what I was saying around the topic. Now, the topic is what defines how your interaction will play out with your end user. Now, at the core of building any bot in Power Virtual Agents are actually the topics you have to define. These topics actually define how your bot plays out. So one of the things you want to do is that there are three main ways you can actually create topics. You can create topic manually, that is, you create your topics on your own, or you actually create topics, that is, you corner topics from what is referred to as suggested topics. And then lastly, you have topics that are referred to as what? System topics, where you can actually go and refer to them. So when you're presented with this page, the first thing you want to do is this. Like I said, you have the home, which is all of these you have there. You see, go to topics, test boards, published boards, and then resources that you can leverage on to learn. Then you have topics here. So I can actually create a new topic, or I can look at topics that comes with the that are predefined already. These are predefined topics or topics that are system topics, like I will refer to. When I click on suggested topic, I may put suggested topic here. So I can give you a scenario where you can use this. Get for somewhere like maybe you want to create something like topics. You want to corner out topic for things like COVID-19 questions. So you can just go to the CDC website and then put the URL here, and it's going to use the intelligence to call out topics for you itself. But what I'm going to do right now is this. I can create new topic. But before I go there, the first thing I want to do is that I want to edit the greetings topic that comes defined with the system. So remember what I said, there are trigger phrases in every topic. What the trigger phrases are actually are like keywords or question that a user or an employee within your environment is likely to type, and that is related to a specific issue or conversation node. So these are what you use in defining how your bot will respond to what issue or whatever question that is being typed. So these are what your trigger phrases, and you have the option of defining up to 5 to 10 trigger phrases whenever you are creating a topic. So, but then I'm going to be going to my authoring canvas. What my authoring canvas will be doing for me, really, my authoring canvas is actually now the place that I do or that defines the conversation part for me between my customer and all my employees and my bots, really. So the first thing I'm going to be presented is with a message note, so by default. But you can actually decide whether you want to use this message note or you want to use a different conversation note like the ask questions and all of that. So I don't need this for the purpose of the bot I want to create. I don't need all of this. So I'm going to try to do what? To rephrase the words that my bot is using. So to save time, I'm just going to enter that real quick. So just going to enter that so this is what I'm saying, but then I still want to put my eye there. And then cool thing I want you to do is this: when you're creating your bot, you want to make your bot to be more, how will I use the word? Is it specific, or you want to personalize your bot? So I want my bots that whoever comes on, you should be able to identify that person and talk. So I can come into this variable part and insert this user display name. So if Olajumoke Toriola is the one, you will just say, "Hi, Olajumoke Toriola," or whatever the name of the person is, and then it can go on to give all of these. So this is the message I want it to give my own for anybody that comes in. So I'm going to save this. Now, on this other side, you have entities. Now, entities actually allows you to create maybe, how will I put it, like a component, so to say, like probably things like age, maybe like location. You can just define it there. Again, you have analytics. Analytics are things like that allows you to know how your bot is being used. The performance of your bot and how it is being used. Then you have publishing, where you can publish any of your bots. And manage, in this session, you actually under manage, you actually be seeing things like security or the kind of channels you can publish your bot to, channels that can include Microsoft Teams, or even or your website, and or even Yama. All of those is what you can see here. So I have edited this greeting because what I want is that, so I might want to test it out now just to see that. I click on I, and then let me see what it does to me. So you can see it gives me that I Olajumoke. This is what actually that variable is doing. And the cool thing you need to see is this. One cool thing with Power Virtual Agent is that it allows you to see as you're building. You can actually see the flow and how your conversation is playing out. So if you have any issue, you can actually go there to see, oh, what goes wrong, and then probably you can now correct it. So for somebody like me that is a citizens developer that I don't even have any knowledge of coding or how to write one single line of code, this is pretty simple for me, and very handsome, awesome, because I can actually get around it real fast. So moving forward, I'm going to be creating new topics, and for me today, for the purpose of our demo, like I said, I'm going to be creating two topics really. So the first topic is this. I want to ask, my topic is going to entail that office reopening. When is office going to reopen? Remember what I said, that what we try to do as much as possible here is this. As an HR employee, you want your bot to be able to answer questions around when is the closing time, people are working from home, when is the resumption time, is it the same time we resume, and all of that. And then you want people to be able to ask ask questions, you know. So you have these trigger phrases, you know, you can coin it out from the things you think your user, I mean, the likely questions or likely phrases or question you feel your users are going to put forward. And like I said, you can create up to 5 to 10. So I'm just going to create a couple of some phrases here, and then we move to the authoring canvas where we define our parts and how our bot is going to play out. So with this, the first thing I want to do is that I want to save this topic. So please do pen down all your questions, and then at the end of this, I'm going to be taking your question. So after saving this, the next thing, like I said, I just want it to come up, and then the next thing is that I want to go to my authoring canvas. Remember that the first conversation node that I said you will have is the message, but I don't want this. So what I want to do is that I said you can create several conversation nodes. So the first thing will be ask your question, call for action, show a message and all of that. But I want to ask a question, and my question will be because I want to play out a multiple kind of options that I want my bot to present to the people. So this is what I'm asking. I can help with that if you have any question around that. But what information are you looking at? So I want to make this easy to say, is your information going to be around opening, office reopening date, or probably the information you're looking for is you're working from home right now, and then you want to know your resumption time, because yes, employee get to ask a lot of that. Please, when is our reopening, I mean our resumption time, especially when they are new hires, they want to know really whether it's the same time and all of that. So I just want to create this form of simple question really, and then we have it. Now, one of the things you want to see is that as I create these questions, I mean, as I put this option, my bots, I mean, the conversation nodes actually branch out, and they are creating what is called condition. So my conversation node branches out into different conditions that is presented to me. So what I want to do first is to save this as a variable, to give this variable as a name. So my variable, probably maybe the name I give it will be work from home. Now, why do I have to do this? If I leave this, it will continue to create things like var1, var2, and all of that. But I want to know which variable. Now, you can use your variable in two different ways. You can use it within topic. So if I select this user to be in topic, it means it is only within this topic that I can use it. But if I select the option of bot, it means I can use it in any topic that I have access to. But for the purpose of this, I'm just going to leave it like this and then move on. So I'm saying that if the office, now for the first condition, if the condition of what you're asking meets that the office resumption date, all I need you to do is that I want my bot to answer whoever is asking this with this question. And the question, for the time being, the organization, they're all working from home, and then with the second wave, so I just coin a response back to the user, and then move on. The next thing is if the response that I want, I mean, if the condition meets what the resumption time, all I can also show to the user is this. Your work from home resumption time still maintains it is 8 o'clock, and then you can actually use the digital sign in and sign on assistant to clock in daily. So lastly, if the question you're looking at really, the answer you're looking at is for closing time, I can also show you a message. So one of the things is that I can end my bot with a survey at every point to say, oh, if maybe just to know whether I answer the user. So the next thing is I'm going to save this bot. So saving it, I can come here again. So I'm going to do something real quick. So because of testing, I'm actually also looking at the time, you know, and see what we can do as much as possible. So you can do what is called track between topics. Track between topics means I can allow when my users are testing or to go in between topics for it. So let's say I click on I again, I want to test it. You find out that I'm actually on the reopening topic, but then it went to my greetings topic and is able to track in between. Even if I don't click on this, it will still go through it. So, but let me see when I want to, and you can see it brings that for me when I'm testing to see that, okay, it has moved away from my reopening topic and it has gone to now my greeting topic. Let's do something. Let me test really the topic, my bot for the topic I just created right now, the reopening. So I say, when will the office reopen? And then when I say when will the office reopen, did you see it's going back right now to the reopening topic, which will load in a bit. And then it's telling me, yes, I can help with that. What information are you actually looking at? And then for me as a citizens developer, I am seeing the flow of my conversation and to see when anything is going wrong. This is super cool. So that's one of the things I want us to see here. And I have the option to say, okay, yes, what information are you actually looking at? This is what my bot is going to represent back to the employee. Is it about office reopen day or resumption time or this? Let's say I want to look for the work from home reopen day, and then it gives me that, and then it moves on to saying that, okay, did that answer your question? And once I say yes, the next thing is that it's going to do the survey for me. Yes, rate your experience. Of course, I built this app and I built this bot, so I'm going to give myself 5 on it. So with that, let's move on. Yes, for now, I don't need any more. Thank you. And then, yeah, bye. So what I'm going to do next is this. I want to create another topic. Just hope I have enough time because I want to create this one. Why I want to create this topic really is that this topic is going to offer you the opportunity for you to move from the Power Virtual Agent into Power Automate, so we can see how we can use the flow to automate some of our process when this bot cannot answer the question that is meant to answer. Now, I understand we have a mixture of both beginners and intermediate people here. So that's why I want to go into the second example. So for the second example is actually on special accommodation needs. So I'm going to bring up again my topics and try to create a new topic. For this topic I want to create right now is going to be, the title is going to be special accommodations. Okay, so the trigger phrases I want to use in these topics are people working from home and they feel, okay, I need a special help, or I need help around medicals, or I need help around, okay, special requests, like probably maybe the seat, like I said earlier, the chair I'm using, I have back pain, but the chair I'm using is not so comfortable for me. If I buy a new one, is the company going to, reimburse me after buying, all of that? Excuse me. So that's what actually you're going to be, that's what my topic is going to be doing in this board. So you have needs for special accommodation. You just look for all of those questions or phrases that you feel your users will be asking you. So now with that, I'm going to save my topic once again. And then I'm going to go to my authoring canvas once again. So to my authoring canvas, what I'm going to do is this. Okay, so to my authoring canvas, remember, like I said, what my authoring canvas will do at every time before you move to your authoring canvas, make sure that you save your topic or whatever you're doing. So I'm going to do this. Instead of using the message, I'm going to ask a question again. So my question will be, what type of accommodation do you need? So because likely these are the kind of requests that comes in, I'm going to use multiple questions again, and then I'm going to do type in the second option, which is on medicals really. So notice what will happen the same time. All my conversation node, what does branch out again into conditions. So I'm going to save this as a variable. My variable is going to be special accommodation type, and then I'm going to move on. So I can now work on this. So I'm saying that if the condition is for ergonomics furniture, what I need my bot to do is this, is actually to show a message. So I want it to show show a message and say, I can connect you because of time, I'm actually trying to, I can help with that. Let me connect you with a human agent. But then, before I connect you to a human agent, I want to ask you this. What should I call? So I'm going to ask you this. What should I call your request? So in asking this question, I can identify this variable in different forms. Is either I do it as a multiple choice options, which I've been showing you, before now, but I want to save this as a user entire response. So I want this to be saved as a user entire response, which means I'm going to rename this and call it again and say whatever request or answer that person gives me, I'm saving it as my request type. So moving forward, I'm going to create another one. I'm going to ask a question again that, okay, even if you say that, please give me more details around the description that I should include, or give me more details or description I should include in your request. I still want, so I'm still going to save this as a response time and call this word details. All right, great. So what I need to do now is this. I want to, whatever response I get here, I want to move it rather to my, I want to move it to the workflow, which is to the Power Automate. So I'm going to save this first. And then once I save this, the next thing is this. I'm going to click here and say call for an action. And the action I want to call for is actually the Power Automate. So I want, now from what we can see, this particular response or this particular question that any user is asking, my bot can't answer it. So because my bot cannot answer it and it wants to transfer it to a human agent, how do I carry out that task? So this is, and you can see the simplicity. Immediately I click on the Power Flow, it left the Power Virtual Agent and brought me straight to Power Automate. So it's the interoperability between it is that it's so easy, and then it just moved from one component to the other. So just hold on, bear with me. I know I'm almost, if I'm not behind time already, so I will not take more than 5 minutes of your time. Please just bear with me. I will just show you how this can go from the flow to the Teams channel we already created. So just wait for this to really load on time. And then so let me say this ahead of time. When you create a chatbot from within Teams, you don't actually see it in the list of the environment like you will normally see with a Power Virtual Agent. You actually have to go to the Power Admin Center in the Power Platform page, or so to say, and then you will see it, and then you will see the type as Microsoft Teams. So I think let me before I move to that, let me just see if I can open that while this is still loading, and then if I can open that. So I'm just going to wait for this to load on time. Okay. I think to save on bandwidth, I might need to do this. Yeah. So we can see where our bots, everything that we have created is being saved. Now moving to the Power Automate, I'm waiting for this to load. Okay. So if you have any question, please pen it down. You can put it in the chat window. I guess I have people in the that can also be answering, or as when I finish my session, I can take your questions one after the other. All right. Great. So the demo gods are on my case today. Let's hope they're going to be nice to me.
Hi, Tuiola. Good job. Thank you very much. Hi, Olajumoke. Can you hear me? Hi,
Hello, David,
Olajumoke.
please,
Can
can
you
you
hear
see my
me?
screen? I think, yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, I
Hello?
can hear you.
All right.
Yes, I
So
can hear
sorry, I
you.
think I missed the internet, so I think I'm back now. So sorry about
Okay,
that.
but yes, but
So let me,
we've eaten into others program time.
oh, okay.
Um, uh, w-
But is it possible
yes.
for me to have 4 minutes just to round up?
How many minutes?
Like 5 minutes for me to round up.
Uh, okay. Can you just make it for 2-3 minutes, please?
Okay, all right then.
Please.
That's great. All
Thank
right,
you.
so even then, if we cannot, so let me just show you real quick what you have here. So if you come to the Power Platform Admin Center, you can see my screen, you can see that it's the type is actually what the environment type is on Microsoft Teams. And then you have the environment type for the ones on the web that they will actually be my default environment. I can call it any environment I create. But for within Microsoft Teams, your environment is always referred to as Microsoft Teams. So I guess that's I think that's the, I mean, just because of time, that ends my session, because I would have shown you how you can move from the Power Virtual Agent into the Power Automate. But not to worry, you can always visit my YouTube channel and then we can see how that plays out. Or if you also want, just make sure that you join me on the Dynamics Com in March 18. I'm going to be doing more around this, and then we can look at how everything plays out. So if there is any question, I guess I'm willing to take it now.